Well,
Me too.
how about we do one more and we talk about Jack Dorsey real quick.
Yes,
yeah.
I do want to talk
Wait a
about
minute.
this. This is awesome.
Because we'll get to the super chats next. We'll probably go a little bit longer than we usually do.
Yeah.
But this is actually a really cool story.
This is worth talking about, for sure.
And I think Jack is an okay dude. I my respect to him.
I mean, I don't know him. I don't know anything about him. This is the first thing that I know about him, other than the fact that he started Twitter. That's it.
Jack Dorsey is not Mark Zuckerberg, right? So Mark runs Facebook. For all of their problems, it comes down to Mark Zuckerberg. Jack Dorsey was fired from Twitter a long time ago. They brought him back, and I am convinced he's not very active. He's the CEO of Square and Twitter, but I really doubt he's involved in Twitter. Like he's probably to a certain degree, but people are always tweeting at Jack when something bad happens on Twitter, and they're blaming him for it. And I think you can criticize him because if he wants to be the face of the company and be the CEO, then he has to expect people will criticize him for sure. But I don't think he really has anything to do with it. So CNBC reports Twitter CEO set aside $1 billion in Square equity for charity coronavirus relief. Hey, man.
That's
how much is too much?
That is incredible. That's. I mean, for the billionaires, for the 0.1%, I believe, right? Exactly. For that small little sliver
0.01%
of human beings that have that amount of wealth, if they could even spend it in their lifetime, I don't even know if it's possible. But for this man to give up almost a third of it,
$1 billion,
just to help everyone, that's props to this dude, man. That's amazing.
We'll grab the context and then we'll talk about it. They say Square and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey said Tuesday he will set aside $1 billion in his Square equity to support relief efforts for COVID-19 and other causes once the pandemic is over. In a series of tweets, Dorsey said that after the pandemic is over, he will dedicate the money to causes like universal basic income and girls' health and education. He said he's pulling the shares from his stake in Square instead of Twitter because he owns more stock in Square. Dorsey said he'll cash in the shares over time. The impact of this money, the impact this money will have should benefit both companies over the long term because it's helping the people we want to serve. Dorsey said that he wants to see the impact of his donation during his lifetime and that the needs are increasingly urgent. He also said he hopes it will inspire others to do something similar.
That's the others I was talking about. The others who have that don't need it.
First, there's his choices. There's politics in this for sure. He's a lefty dude. The girls and women's education stuff.
Yeah.
But look, if some dude makes a ton of money and then wants to donate it to whatever cause they want to, I really don't.
His choice.
That's
exactly.
Welcome to capitalism. He's got the money. He can spend it how he sees fit. But there was this funny meme where I guess Bill Gates donated $50 million. And people are like, Bill Gates is worth, what is he worth, like $70 billion or something?
Yeah.
And he gives away like
70 billion. Is that the number?
I don't know. Can you look up what Bill Gates' net worth is?
Man.
But a lot more than Jack Dorsey.
Right.
So
50 million is like chump change for someone like him.
Jack Dorsey is a pretty lefty dude. And I think there's a lot of people like him that are good spirited.
Okay.
Misguided perhaps. And that can lead to really negative things. They say the path to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yep.
This I dig. This I think is respectable because I remember seeing like Oprah, for instance, giving out cars. And everyone's like, oh, that's so amazing. Oprah's giving everybody cars and all that stuff. And it's like, she's not giving anybody anything, dude.
Yeah.
The car company's doing it. It's a promo. They're using your show to market a product.
Yep. Now everyone's going to be driving around in that car.
No, they had to pay taxes on it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people had like a tax liability of like $5,000 or some ridiculous number they couldn't pay. And so they were like selling them. But it's not just that. She's a billionaire. So when she gives away like, a couple $100,000, it's like, it is a lot of money. I get it. But relative to how much she's earned,
right?
When I see somebody who's making minimum wage give up like $100 a week, then that's legit. That's like a huge portion of your income. It's probably irresponsible. So they say Dorsey said he wants to see the impact of his donation during his lifetime, and that the needs. Oh, I read that. Dorsey also tweeted a link to a public Google Doc where people can track which organization the fund's money will go to.
Wow, that's surprising and awesome.
Seriously,
like you can actually check it out.
That's cool.
Dorsey isn't the only technologist to fund coronavirus relief efforts, though he's doing it on a big scale. Amazon's Jeff Bezos has said he is donating $100 million to U.S. food banks. Now stop right there for a second. Bezos has shares. His access is like 130 billion or something ridiculous number. Dorsey 3. So I'll give some respect to Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla donated $25 million towards creating treatments for coronavirus through their philanthropic organization, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. And the Bill Gates Foundation has said it will spend billions to fight coronavirus, according to the Wall Street Journal. Jack Dorsey has done way more than anyone else in regards to actually, doing right by this. And having met the guy and talked to him, I think there are issues with Twitter. I think he absolutely needs to step up. I don't know if he can. I think he's more of a figure, like I said, like a mascot.
Yeah.
The criticism for him, if he wants to be the CEO, is legit. But this is cool. I mean, how many people are willing to give up that 30% of their total net worth when there's like a real emergency or something?
I mean, probably the ratio is really small because 30% of your net worth for most people is like they would go bankrupt. Most
people already are negative.
Exactly.
So
most people are negative, exactly, in debt from something.
I was reading this. I think it was from like Forbes.
Okay.
And it was talking about the net worth of people based on age.
Okay.
29 was when their net worth went positive. $1,000 on average. Like if you're 29, your net worth is like $1,000.
Wow.
And it's mostly because of college, or just because a lot of young people don't have money.
Right.
But yeah, from like 18 until 28, negative net worth. And then, you enter 30, now you have $1,000, and at 31, you've got like $7,000. And then by the time they're 40, they have like $50,000. So after all of these years of working, they finally flip it positive.
Yeah.
Jack Dorsey, how old is that guy? He's like, is he 40, I think?
Yeah, he looks like he could be 40.
Questions.
Yeah. And so he started a bunch of companies. He made a bunch of money. And 43. Mm-hmm. So his net worth is certainly higher than a lot of people. Now, this will be interesting because he might say he wants to do a bunch of good things with this, but what do you think happens when you just pour money out a window, right? Reminds me of that Family Guy episode where Peter gets in the blimp with Brian and they dump bags of money into the football stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've seen that episode.
And then everyone starts fighting over it and hitting each other, and it causes chaos and pandemonium. So what happens now with him giving up this wealth? Like, will it work? I don't know. And where's it going to go? What organizations? Maybe we can actually just pull up the Google Doc. Is this going to...
Yeah, it looks like it's got a...
Oh.
Hey, there we go.
Look at that.
So America's Food Fund. Oh, I guess, no, he's choosing, but you can watch what he's done with it.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
So it's there, and it's the Google Doc. The numbers are there.
See, maybe this will actually help people understand how stock works. Maybe they'll understand liquid cash or something. I don't know, maybe not. Because he set aside $1 billion worth of the value. How many shares is that?
No idea.
Is he doing it by value or by share?
Look, current share price is $50.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lot of shares.
So he set aside...
Oh, and then it says number of shares to be transferred, almost 20,000, 19,833. Oh, no, that's 19 million. Sorry, I thought that was a point.
A period.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
19 million shares, 800.
So what happens now if, because he's dumping these stocks, people start selling Square?
Yeah, is the stock in a tank?
And then it's like all of a sudden now the current value is only 200 million.
Yeah.
No, it might not tank, it might go up. But him selling 20 million shares, that typically is going to drop the price substantially.
That's tricky, yeah.
So I'm not an expert on trading, but when there is a massive sell-off, the way it works is like you have bids. So let's say you have 100 people, one person says I'll pay $1, next person says I'll pay $2, and it goes up to 100. So right now, the current bid to buy is $100. So if I say I'm going to sell a stock, I sell it for $100. The next available is $99. The next stock sells for $99. Every time you sell, the value of your stock drops to the next. So there'll be people who specifically say, "Ooh, what's this? Jack Dorsey is selling Square stock at $50 a share. I'm going to put in an order to buy once it hits $40 because it's definitely going to tank. And then once it sells off and the price starts going back up, I'll have bought in at a premium." So now you're probably going to see a bunch of people moving to buy at lower prices. I'm speculating. And then the total value will drop dramatically. We'll see if it actually works out. I think it's cool that he's doing it.
Do you think the politics of it would help drive up the value of the company at all? I don't really know how that works.
It could be I mean, look, he's personally giving up a lot of money, regardless of what the value of the stock is.
Yeah. It's his.
But
it's personally his.
How much stock does he have left in the company? Presumably a bit more, maybe even another 20 million shares. And how much is he hoping this might actually drive up the value? But I'll tell you what, man, I respect it. You know why? I've been thinking about a long time about a really great marketing game, like a marketing plan, where companies would compete to do the most social good. And imagine if, like, McDonald's will have like a ridiculous budget for a commercial, $1 million, $2 million. I'm like, what could you do with that in terms of social good? What if instead of doing a commercial where The Rock shows up in a parachute and breaks through the roof of McDonald's and then orders a Big Mac? I'm just being silly. What if instead of paying all that money, you took a cell phone and filmed yourself filmed yourself paying people's medical bills? And then, you know what I would do if I was a company, I was going to do an ad? I'd be like, for the next 30 seconds, you're going to watch us go around and pay off people's medical debt. And then in the last 10 seconds, I'll be like, this was a commercial for our product. Straight up. We did this. We spent $1 million paying off people's medical debt to get your attention because we want you to buy our cheeseburgers. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I prefer commercials where people are like, buy our cheeseburger because it's got beef and cheese on it.
Yeah.
But if you look at how much money they spend on stupid things like a zebra breaks through, the window, and then like Mountain Dew is exploding through the pipes, and people are like, whoa, so they spend all that money. I would actually be more inclined to buy the product if they were like, instead of wasting all that money, we filmed an extremely low budget commercial, helped a bunch of people. We found some people who are, had lost their jobs, and we helped them start a business.
Yep.
I'd be like,
and this is not an actor. I'm actually the CEO of the company.
Yep.
It's like talking about my company.
If they had a 30-second commercial where the guy was like, I am straight up and unashamedly telling you that we dumped this money in an effort to get your attention because we figured what better way to get your attention than to literally spend money doing something really, really great that can't be ignored. And so, hey, it's a win-win, right? Bunch of homeless people get helped. You guys figure out we got a product. Like, actually, remember when I think it was KFC?
That's monetizing virtue signaling.
Why not?
Hey, but why not?
Yeah, I know.
Remember when
it's like the best case scenario for virtue signaling.
You can make it good.
It's like we were going to spend money, but instead we helped a lot of people. Here's our product.
Yeah, why not?
Like,
remember, was it KFC was fixing potholes? Was it KFC?
It was, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no, it was a delivery company. It was like a pizza company that went around filling.
Domino's. They were like, we'll fill the pothole and then put our logo on it. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Good idea, yeah.
That's
great.
Pretty great.
Right.
The socialists were angry.
Sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were like, why is the pizza, like they call it late stage capitalism, that pizza companies are required to fix this stuff. And I'm like,
required to.
I'm like, that's actually great.
Yeah. Why?
Like they have it works.
That's a positive.
You walk outside, there's a Domino's thing on the street, and you're like, that's silly.
Cool.
Oh, hey, they fixed that pothole.
Sweet.
Somebody got a flat tire, and they show up next day, and
Delivery guy.
Domino's is fixing it. They're like, hey, awesome.
Oh, thanks, Domino's.
We'll see how it plays out. I mean, regardless of what's going on, I think it's cool. Politics aside, I guess I have another question. We can go a little bit longer. How much is too much?
Ooh,
that's a good question. Like profit. Like, how much does a human really need to make before they're like, I don't need to make any more money. Every single dime that I would have made after this point, after this amount, goes to charities.
Yeah. Not even
Is
about
that what you're talking about?
Not even about charities necessarily.
Or not necessarily charities.
Why would I trust every,
True. Giving it to the things that I want to do, like what he's doing with this, Google chart, you can see where the money's going. So,
like, Jack Dorsey literally couldn't buy anything else.
Yeah,
I guess he could, because $1 billion, if you want to go to Mars,
yeah.
I guess you can give Elon $1 billion and get that first class ticket.
Sure.
But there are things you can't buy, no matter how rich you are. There are limits. I don't know if the goal of all these billionaires is to like eventually get to the point where they can buy a rocket to Mars. I mean, Elon Musk is doing it.
Have you seen Altered Carbon?
Yeah. Dude.
That's what they want.
Well, if Jack Dorsey was, he's like, I would like to download my brain into a chip that I can implant in other bodies and transfer my consciousness.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a bit more than $1 billion.
Probably.
Might not be possible, but
No. You're saying what would they need or want? And it's like, that's probably the only thing remaining is immortality, because they have everything.
But do people really want to be immortal?
Those people,
I don't know, man.
I feel like
I think it's a myth.
When you have power, you don't want to let it go. So greed corrupts, right? But I feel like not everybody gets corrupted to the point of that. Wanting to be immortal, to have power forever.
Well, I was watching something where they said that everybody who's young doesn't want to die. And once you get older and life gets harder and you're in pain, then you're like, I don't want to be immortal. Well, that's because you're in pain. But if you were constantly 24, you'd probably always want to live.
Yeah, exactly.
So doesn't Peter Thiel do like youth blood transfusions?
Oh gosh.
Is this an urban legend?
I have no idea.
I do not mean to impugn the integrity of Peter Thiel.
I
just
don't
a story I heard.
Or that like what is that?
Can you look this up?
Adrenochrome?
Adrenochrome.
I don't know
that.
No,
I'm not saying it is a thing, but that's kind of
similar.
That's
right?
the vibe of like
listen.
They would be after.
There's a story that
not waste money, but
billionaires in Silicon Valley hire young people to exercise and be healthy and eat healthy, and then once a week they transfer blood. They trade blood.
Wow.
So I have 4 articles here. One says Thiel is very, very interested in young people's blood. The second says he is not harvesting the blood of the young. The third said he wants to inject himself. And the fourth said the FDA is warning against this.
Wow.
So I don't really know.
And maybe
all over the place.
Well, so the idea is that by in transfusing youthful blood, it actually repairs, like your blood is now younger, and so it's healthier and it makes your body work better.
Does seem to make sense.
Kind of makes sense, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's just an urban legend, but that's what people were always saying.
Yeah.
There's definitely something there. I don't know.
Maybe some people do want to be immortal. Maybe they'll eat healthy because of it. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.